Hi friends, today let me take a few problems. With that we will be completing inland branches. Give journal entries in the books of head office to rectify or adjust the following. Goods sent to branch 12,000 stolen during transit. Branch manager refused to accept any liability. Goods sent to branch 12,000 stolen during transit. Branch manager refused to accept any liability. When branch manager is refused to accept any liability, we have seen this in one of our previous classes. It's a loss in transit. No, it should be transferred to which account? Profit and loss account. So at the time of sending the good, they have debited branch account. No, goods sent to branch stolen during the transit. At the time of sending the goods, you debit branch account. So since he is not accepting the liability, branch account should be created. So this loss in transit is a loss. This should be transferred to which account? Profit and loss account. Take your notes. I think in the last class also we have seen I have dictated the entries. For this one also I am dictating the entry. Entry is profit and loss account at R2 branch account. Profit and loss account at R2 branch account. Profit and loss account at R2 branch account. 12,000. Being the goods lost on account of theft. Being the goods lost on account of theft during transit. Being goods lost on account of theft during transit. Next, branch paid 15,000 as salary to the officer of head office on his visit to the branch. So branch paid 15,000 as salary to the officer of head office on his visit to branch. What is that entry you should write? Now you are writing entries in the books of head office. Branch paid 15,000. That means the head office salaries has been paid by branch. So if head office salary that is being paid, if head office is paying salary, their own salary, they write salary to cash. But they have not paid cash. Who has paid branch? Who has paid cash? See, simple words. If branch paid 15 salary to the officer of head office, if head office in the books of head office, if head office pays salary entry, they write salary to cash. But here salary is being paid by branch. So entry is salary account at auto branch. Because who is the giver? Branch is the giver. Clear to all of you? So the entry is salary account at R2 branch account. Salaries account at R2 branch account. 15,000 rupees. Salaries account at R2 branch account 15,000. Being salary paid by the branch for head office employee. Being salary paid by the branch for head office employee. Next, on 28th March 2012, the head office dispatched goods to branch. Invoice 25,000, which was not received by branch till 31st March 2012. The simple words, goods in transit not received by branch. When goods in transit not received by branch, we have learned already, no journal entry is required in the books of head office. Note down, no journal entry is required in the books of head office. No journal entry is required in the books of head office. In the books of head office, no journal entry is required in the books of head office. No journal entry is required in the books of head office. No journal entry is required in the books of head office. No journal entry is required in the books of head office. No journal entry is required in the books of head office. No journal entry is required in the books of head office. No journal entry is required in the books of head office. No journal entry is required in the books of head office. No journal entry is required in the books of head office. No journal entry is required in the books of head office. No journal entry is required in the books of head office. No journal entry is required in the books of head office. No journal entry is required in the books of head office. No journal entry is required in the books of head office. No journal entry is required in the books of head office. No journal entry is re No journal entry is required in the books of head office for goods sent to branch. For goods sent to branch not received by branch till 31st March. I told you goods in transit entry will be there in the branch but not in the head office. But I told you cash in transit will not be recorded in branch, will be recorded in head office. I think next transaction is about that one. A remittance of 10,000 sent by branch. Remittance means cash in transit given. On 30th March, remittance means cash sent. On 30th March, received by head office on 1st April. That means before 31st March, no entry for cash in transit in the books of head office. That means cash in transit has been, cash sent by branch has been recorded in branch. But cash in, since cash is not received before 31st March, there is no entry for cash receipt. So you should write entry for cash in transit as on 31st March 2012. Note down the entry. In the books of, we have discussed number of times, cash in transit will be entry will be there in the books of head office. Entry cash in transit account at R2 branch. Cash in transit account at R2 branch. Narration, that is 10,000 rupees. Being remittance by branch. Being remittance by branch not received by 31st. Not received by 31st. Next. Head office made payment of rupees 25,000 for purchase of goods by branch and wrongly debited its own purchase account. Head office made payment of 25,000 for purchase of goods by branch and wrongly debited its own purchase account. Simple words. Head office made payment 25,000 for purchase of goods by branch and wrongly debited its own purchase account. What do you mean by this? Come on, tell me. Correct entries purchase goods by branch, but payment is made by head office. The correct entry is branch to cash. This is correct. Wrong entry, purchases to cash. This purchases is not meant for head office. This purchase meant for cash. I think it is clear. Cash is correct, but which is wrong? Purchases. So purchase account should be created. Account should be debited, branch account, because it is not their own purchase. Purchase belongs to branch. Instead of debiting branch, they have debited purchase. The wrong debit given. So note down the rectification entry directly this. Branch account at R2, purchases account 25,000. Being wrong debit given by head office rectified. Branch account at R2, purchases 25,000. Being wrong debit given by branch. Being wrong debit given by branch rectified. Okay. Then let us see this problem. Global Limited has a branch with closes books account every year on 31st March. This is independent branch which maintains comprehensive books of account. For recording their transaction, you are required to show journal entries in the books of branch, rectify or adjust the following. This is the previous problem, entries in the books of head office. Now you are writing entries in the books of branch. You write the heading journal entries, the books of branch, the books of independent branch. Head office allocates 1,35,000 to branch as head office expense, which have not yet been recorded by branch. So, come on, what is the entry? Expenses account should be debited, you know. Expenses account at R2. Who is the giver? Head office. Because our expenses maintained by or incurred by head office, or our expenses they have incurred, that has been allocated to us. Come on. Expenses account at R2 head office. Even this expense account you can transfer later on to profit and loss account. First entry. Second entry, depreciation of branch fixed assets whose accounts are kept by head office in its books, not yet recorded in the branch books. Depreciation of branch fixed assets whose accounts are kept by head office. We have been seeing from last 2-3 classes. In the books of branch assets are being maintained by head office. Entry, depreciation account at R, or you can debit P&L account also. Depreciation account at R or P&L account at R to head office account. Depreciation account at R or I'm not giving the narration. The same thing you can write as a being. Depreciation account at R or P&L account at R to head office account. 1,15,000. Next. Branch paid rupees 1,40,000 as salary to an official from head office on visit to branch and debited amount to its salary. We have seen this entry previous class. Branch paid 1,40,000 as salary to an official from head office, debited amount to salaries. Correct entry is head office to cash. Wrong entry is salary to cash. Rectification. We have seen this in the last class. I think you by the time it's simple. Instead of debiting head office, they are debited salary. Come on, salary account is to be created, head office account is to be debited. Head office account at R to salary account. Same transaction we have seen in the last class. Head office account at R2. Salaries account. $1,40,000. And for this, if you put being, it become narration. Being branch paid, that's it. Next, head office collected 1,30,000 directly from a branch customer on behalf of the branch, but no intimation was received earlier by the branch. Now the branch learns about it. Head office collected 1,30,000 directly from a branch customer. I think this also we have seen in the last class. Head office collected 1,30,000 directly by branch customer. So who is the receiver? Head office. Who is the giver? Customer. Entry, head office account at R to debtors account. Because if we collect the money, we write cash to debtor, but our amount has been collected by head office. Entry, head office is the receiver. Head office account at R to debtors account. Head office account at R to debtors account 1,30,000. Next, It is learned that a remittance of 1,50,000 sent by the branch has not been received by head office till date. So we have sent is nothing but cash in transit. Cash in transit, no entry is required in the books of. In the books of branch. Remittance means cash in. It is learned that a remittance of 1,50,000 sent by branch has not been received by head office means till date means cash in transit, no entry in the books of branch, because cash in transit will be shown in the books of head office. Remittance sent by the branch. Remittance sent by the branch, not received means cash in transit. So I think there are, I've told you 18 problems. This problem I have worked out already. Next is foreign branches. This is completed. This is completed. This in the last class we have completed. This I think I have given as a homework, DATAS method. This we have seen wholesale price method. This last class we have seen independent branches. This is independent branch we have seen. This is DATAR method we have seen already. This is independent branch we have worked out. This is final accounts method we have seen. This is final accounts method we have seen. Already completed. This is stock and DATAS method we have seen. DATAS, this is DATAS, this is DATAS. I think only one problem I have given homework. So with this, all the problems I have completed. Now we are left out with foreign branches. So after foreign branches, I think they have given some problems for you to practice. I think this stuff you need to, everything I can't explain. You need to practice a bit. But having said that, I got one more problem which I'll show you where that model hasn't been covered. Foreign branches we work out maybe 3 classes or 4 classes. With that we can finish off the syllabus. Branch accounts, foreign branches you are having 4, 5, 6 problems. I think we are having the whole. The additional problems there in the study material. Just you can keep on practicing. Problems are then there in the study material. Maybe if study material is not there, you will be having question bank number. Past examination you will be having. So this is what I am looking at. 7th problem model is important. The 7th problem is also independent branch. This problem I am going to explain today. Just 2 minutes time I am giving. Have a quick look at it before I start telling this. See, this problem is about inter-branch transfer of goods, etc. Inter-branch transfer of goods. So, show adjustment entry in the books of head office for incorporation of inter-branch transaction, assuming that only head office maintains different branch accounts in it. Who is maintaining head office? Delhi branch received goods from Mumbai and Calcutta. Send goods to Chennai and Calcutta. Bills received from Chennai. Acceptances sent to Mumbai, Calcutta, like that Mumbai branch, like that Chennai branch, like that Calcutta branch. Now they are asking adjustment journal entry in the books of head office. So for this, we need to go for statement showing inter-branch transaction. If luck favors, you can get this kind of problems you can score, because we haven't seen this model for a while. Statement showing inter-branch transaction. So for this, what I do, the reason why I am going this is that, so adjustment journal entry for all these transactions is asking only one entry. That is what. Otherwise, how many entries you should write? Huh? So how we can write? That is what through statement I am going to explain. First column particulars I am writing. So we are having how many branches? Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata. You write four columns. See, simple words. What we do for all these branches, we'll be having two columns. Debit, credit, debit, credit. Receiving branch, debit. Giving branch, credit. Like this, you can write debit and credit. Okay, clear to all of you? Okay, we start doing it now. First, what is the branch here? First branch, Delhi. Delhi branch. Received goods from Mumbai and Calcutta. So what I am writing here? Received goods. Received goods. What is the total of goods received? 35 plus 15. 50,000 you write in Delhi. Debit the receiver. These adjustments we are doing in the books of head office. Statement you are preparing in the books of head office. So who is the receiver? Delhi. Who is the giver? Mumbai 35,050. So credit must be given to giver. 35 Mumbai, Calcutta 15. 35 Mumbai. Calcutta, you can see debit is equal to credit. Clear to all of you? Like this, we should start writing it. I think you by this time you got a clarity on this. Send goods to Chennai. Giver is Delhi. Receiver is Chennai and Calcutta. Total coming to 45,000. Who is the receiver? Chennai and Calcutta. Chennai 25, Calcutta 20. Next. Bills receivable received. Who is receiving? Delhi. Who is giving? Chennai. Chennai credit 20,000. Clear to all of you? Then next. Acceptance means bills payable. Acceptance is sent to Mumbai and Calcutta. So 25 plus 10, 35. Total 35,000. Who is the receiver? Mumbai 25, Calcutta 10,000. By 25,000. Calcutta 10,000. Okay, this is complete. Next, Mumbai branch. Mumbai branch. Received goods from Calcutta 15 plus 20, 35 debit. Mumbai. Columns you should be careful. 35,000. Who is the giver? Calcutta 15,000. Delhi 20,000. Delhi 20. Calcutta. Calcutta is giver, no? Yet all of you. Mumbai is the receiver. Who is the giver? Delhi and Calcutta. Cash sent to Delhi. Cash sent to Delhi means given. Mumbai column credit side, Delhi column debit side, Calcutta column debit side. 15 plus 7, 22. So we are writing now cash sent. How much cash has been sent? 22,000. Who is sent by? Who is the receiver? Delhi 15,000, Calcutta 7,000. Delhi 15,000, Calcutta 7,000. Then next, Chennai branch. Chennai branch. Received goods from Calcutta. Received goods. What is the goods value? 30,000 debit. Who has given Calcutta 30,000 credit? Clear? Acceptances and cash sent to Calcutta. Acceptance is 20,000, cash is 10,000. So Chennai branch should be created, Calcutta branch should be debited. 2010. Chennai column, no? Chennai is giving 20,000, 10,000. Who is receiving? Calcutta is receiving. Okay, next, last one. Calcutta branch. Last one, Kolkata branch. Send goods to Chennai 35,000. Send goods to Chennai 35,000. Credit 35,000. Who is the receiver? Chennai. Third column. Next. Send goods Chennai 35,000. Kolkata credit, Chennai debit. Receiver is Chennai. Next. Paid cash to Chennai. Paid cash to Chennai. 10,000 credit. Chennai debit. Next. Acceptances sent to Chennai. Acceptances means bills payable. Acceptances sent. What is the amount here? 15,000. 15,000 credit. 15,000 debit to where? Chennai. See, in all transaction we got one debit and one credit. Clear to all of you? 15,000. Paid cash is also 50. Now, like this, after completion of this, what we do, you go for total of debit and credit. Okay, let us go for debit first. Here, 70, 85,000 debit. Then look at credit. 45, 80, 1 lakh. 1 lakh credit. Then 25, 60, 60 debit. 35, 37, 57 debit. Here let us see. 25, 55, 55 plus 50, 05, 120. lakh 20, 20, 20, 40, 10, 50. Next last column 20, 10, 30, 37, 57, 67. The last one 15, 15, 30, 30 plus 30, 60 plus 30, 90, 1,25,000. Now what we see, we will see the difference. Difference is credit 15,000, credit side is showing more. Here the difference is debit 3,000. Here if you see debit 70, here you see credit side is more, 125 minus 67, 50. Now you can see credit 15, credit 58, 58 plus 15, 73 credit, 73 debit. Clear, no? So now we can write one single entry. After adjusting the debit and credit, adjustment entry in the books of head office. Only one single entry. Instead of writing so many entries, you can write one single entry. So you must give it debit to which branch? Mumbai debit. Then which is debit? Chennai debit. Then which is credit? Delhi debit, Delhi credit, and lastly which is credit? Calcutta credit. We can write one single entry. Mumbai branch account debtor 3,000. Chennai branch account debtor 70,000. To Delhi branch account 15,000. To Kolkata branch account 38,000. This is one single adjustment entry they want right in the head office book. 58,000. Clear to all of you? We can write narration now. Narration is being the adjustment entry for inter-branch transfer transactions. Okay, for inland branches, more inland branches problems, be thorough with the study material. Go through the study material, and then you will be having the clarity how to work out the problems. But there are one or two problems may trouble you. You first work out. If there is later on any doubts, we can see. Whenever we get the time, we can have a discussion later on. But before that, let me finish off. foreign branches. So with today's class, I've completed inland branches. Next class, we start with foreign branches. I hope you all are following. We'll meet in the next class. Till then, goodbye.